The Kingpin has been spotted on set of Daredevil Born Again Season 3, rocking a beard, a trench coat, and a beanie, walking the streets of New York with Sheila Rivera now running for mayor. Let's break down what this means for the finale of Daredevil Born Again Season 2, how this connects to Spider-Man Brand New Day, and of course, how all of this could connect to Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, and Kingpin's hope to bring Vanessa back from the dead.
How many more worlds do you need to conquer?
How many are there?
Hey everybody, Colton here, and for a long time I've said that I thought Born Again Season 2 would end with both Matt and Fisk in prison together, having to work together to survive their time locked away. But I was wrong. It looks like while Matt Murdock is very probably still destined for a lockup, Wilson Fisk, on the other hand, is free, and his advisor, Sheila Rivera, is running for mayor. So let's start there. In this image, we see that Sheila is running for mayor, whereas in Spider-Man Brand New Day's trailer, where we see her giving the key to the city to Spider-Man, it would appear that she is already mayor. So we have two options here. One, Daredevil Born Again Season 3 takes place before Spider-Man Brand New Day, despite it coming out after. Personally, I don't think that's the case. I think they want to keep the story somewhat chronological, especially with how closely these two worlds are. Punisher, appearing in Brand New Day, and it looks like Daredevil is very, very likely going to appear in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I mean, the Hand is in the movie, and we see them in a cell block, so yeah, I think Daredevil is in the movie, just like he was in the last one. So if that's the case, if Daredevil Born Again Season 3 takes place after Brand New Day, where Sheila already appears to be mayor, then why in Season 3 of Born Again are we seeing that she is running for mayor if she's already mayor? Well, because in all likelihood, come the end of Born Again Season 2, Wilson Fisk will be removed as mayor or step down as mayor, and Sheila will take his place. So she is serving as a temporary mayor, finishing the term of Fisk, but she is also running to be elected mayor for the next term. And remember, the mayoral election is coming up anyway in universe. So Sheila becomes mayor, Fisk is out and seemingly a free man. He looks uncharacteristically disheveled, yet simultaneously like he might be somewhat in hiding. And I don't mean in hiding like from the law, but more so in hiding from a city that very likely now hates him. And look, like any good villain, Fisk has a side to him that you can't help but be sympathetic toward. But please, for the love of God, we have to remember that while broken he may be, he's a fucking psychotic, murdering piece of shit bad guy, and as cool as I thought it would be to see him and Matt have to work together to survive prison and like become semi-friends, and I use that term friends very loosely, but I thought it would be cool to see Fisk and Matt like contained in this environment where they are forced to spend time together and get to see Fisk and Matt have like conversations and spend this time together that out in the real world would just never happen. But having said all that, it looks like Season 2 is going to end with Fisk being a free man. So what do we do next with the character? Because I don't want to see them make Fisk some sympathetic, breaking good anti-hero type character, but I'm also kind of exhausted with them telling this same story over and over again of Fisk being the guy who is trying to take over New York, whether it be as mayor or as a crime boss. And I know that might sound silly because it's right there in his name. He is the Kingpin, but they've got to be able to tell a story that we haven't already seen. All 5 seasons of Daredevil have been about Daredevil versus Kingpin in some way, shape, or form. Kingpin up to his usual shit, and I think that for Season 3 of Born Again, the 6th season of Daredevil overall, they need to do something different and give this character some room to grow. With Fisk seemingly on the outside, and what we know about Season 3 with the Defenders being back, are we just going to see like Fisk back up to his old shit, trying to rebuild his empire, getting back into crime and fighting the Defenders and Kate Bishop? And by the way, where the fuck is Kate Bishop? Really weird that she isn't in Born Again. Anyway, here's what I think they could do with Fisk before we inevitably see him ditch the trench coat, get back in the suit, shave the beard, and launch his next big attempt at taking over the city. I think we see him on a mission to bring back Vanessa and living in that constant grief. That night at the fight, we saw the Watcher, the Multiversal Observer. He was there watching, implying that this was a huge event that is a key pillar of the very stability of the multiverse. With this being the multiverse saga and us knowing the multiverse is collapsing, and not just because of one violation of time, but multiple violations, with He Who Remains gone and the sacred timeline being no more, the multiverse is now allowed to flow freely, and bizarre things are allowed to happen. And those things are the very things that are breaking the multiverse, such as Steve Rogers going to live a life with Peggy in a branch timeline. Before Loki took the throne, that wouldn't have been permitted. The TVA would have shut it down. And these many violations of the former sacred timeline that we are seeing, they are all leading to this multiversal collapse that we're going to see in Doomsday and Secret Wars. And what if Kingpin trying to resurrect Vanessa is part of that? We've seen before in a series like What If, what happens when Doctor Strange tries to revive Christine Palmer? His entire universe wound up dying. So, what if, like in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, where we saw Kingpin use a super collider to try and pull a Vanessa from another universe into his own to replace his Vanessa who had died? What if we see that same thing happen with the MCU Wilson Fisk? Now, I know that's a pretty bizarre, wild, really big thing to do for a Daredevil show, but this is the multiverse saga still, and season 3 of Born Again will still be in the multiverse saga, I think. Yeah, because it comes out before Secret Wars. So the Watcher, he was there that night. Vanessa is dead, and there is story precedent for Kingpin to try and undo this. And look, this is a show that exists in that wider MCU. So while it might feel out of place, it's really not. And there was this line from earlier in the season teasing Kingpin's multiversal ambitions.
How many more worlds do you need to conquer?
How many are there?
So maybe we see Fisk gathering the necessary equipment and brain power from, I don't know, maybe the Jackal, and we could see Fisk steal blueprints for Tony Stark's time machine, or quantum tunnel, I guess you would say, that the Avengers used to save the universe, and we could have him bring in, like, I don't know, Justin Hammer or someone to rebuild this tunnel, and he could be working with maybe even Valentina Allegra de Fontaine because she wants something like that machine as well. But Fisk, of course, has his own selfish intentions behind it. I think all that could be cool, but I'll admit, yeah, a little much for a Daredevil show. I would love to hear your thoughts and theories on all of this down in the comments below. What do you think Wilson Fisk is up to? What do you think about it looking like come season 3? He's no longer mayor, but he's not going to be in prison with Matt. Do you think we could see a scenario where he actually tries to build a quantum tunnel or something like we saw him do in Across the Spider-Verse to bring back Vanessa? Would that be taking it a step too far? Or would it be super cool? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified every time we upload a new video. I'm Colton Ogburn. I'll see you next time. Bye!